Yeah, I think gold might have been sent out. I've just been in the trading room, and another one I advised to as AUD as a. But having said that, I prefer to get gold slightly better price if it gets back there. Not sure it will, but 1712 round about there, or a little bit better or high if you get it, will be the better sell area. It's not impossible at market, but it'd be slightly nicer if you can get it 1712, but you might not get there. The dollar's extremely strong. It's held above 110. It came off a bit earlier on this morning, but then 110 held and it went up. So I'm just saying that before we start. Look at the entry price. Sometimes worth chasing, but just make sure you look at the entry price. Morning, Zeph. My Euro CHF came right in the end. I must admit you got that one right. Well bloody done. And I decided, sorry, I'm going in this time at a higher price, and at least it came right for me. So I got 1 point. I think you got about 4 points out of that. Well done. Another one was, I have to be honest, I pretty well chicken sat on the fence and there got all bloody Worcestershire on it. It was a GBP CAD, if you remember. And you got to, I'm going to get this right, Sipendili, I think it was. And somebody else joined, that's what they've written down for the short. And it did seriously well. So well done, guys. That's why I need you. Morning, Ash. Hosting or not, I would join you guys if you don't care, because it's so important to have some sort of forum where you can bounce ideas and a bit of moral support, and some of you might not spot yourself, even been doing it for a while, and so it helps. And have to say, in all honesty, I check it out. Never mind, well bloody done. So that was a beaut for the trading room. The goal we had is the longs to bounce. Remember, it's a highly aggressive one going against the trend. We got some out of it. I said, move your stop up. So some of the guys who went for that high aggressive trade going against the trend should have been stopped out in a profit. So I'm just putting up sort of a tick through it. We're obviously clearly out of that because of the dollar strength you want to be taking anyway to look for the short. So I'm talking away now. I'm half past it. Beg your pardon. Yeah, think of him, but what about me? How uncomfortable I felt. Eh? Don't care about that. No. Oh, no. What about my feelings, you know? We males, we've got feelings, you know? Yeah, but I have to say, and joking apart, thanks very much, Ashley. Yeah, but on a serious note, it takes, you know, when you've been doing it a few years, it's different. When you're sort of doing it a few months, it takes quite a bit of nerve to say, no, I hear you, Roger, but I think it's going to go up a way, other way, act on it. That took, I'm joking, I'm taking the mickey out of myself. It's part of my culture. I tease myself a lot. It's all in fun. But on the serious note, on a serious note, that's what you need to do. You've got to say, oh, I think, no, I disagree with that. And it turned out pretty cool. Believe you me, if you were wrong, I would be crowing so much louder than you two put together. And I'm crying, oh no. Yeah, well, Roger nearly didn't make it. I said, Ash, do you mind doing the morning trading? I can't face Zephyrino and Ashley. And he said, he's also incentive, sod you, pull yourself together, be a man, go and face it. So here I am. I didn't really tell him that, because you mentioned that to me on Wednesday and he comes on, probably what the hell you're talking about. So obviously I'm just a bit of banter and fun. And I can do that because I had a few winning trades, don't forget. So when you lose one and you guys win, I can take the mickey big time and say, well done. It's my roundabout way of saying, oh, bloody done, guys. And the other one, which GBP, I agree with the shorts, I have to say, the one you got right was completely opposite way around. But this, I did agree with the short. I thought, maybe at a price, I'm not sure. And look what happened. Sorry about this. I'm in the trading room at the moment. I know you phoned, but can you phone me back at 11 or WhatsApp? Yeah. Okay, no, I chickened out and I came off well. Anyway, it's 1:30 and I'm blathering away. So, yeah, I've had a bit of fun at my expense. Let's move on to GBP CAD. More of my wussishness on this one rather than me disagreeing with the direction, because the direction of this one. GBP CAD, we got in on, remember, I don't sip and dealies here, but 51.80. It's now, well, it's gone back up to 51, but it was even 100 pips in profit one stage. So if you did take it, guys, put your stop maybe 51.20. Then you got 60 pips profit. You get stopped out, never mind. 60 pips is pretty damn good. If it continues down, well, just start moving your stop again until you eventually stopped out or hits the TP or whatever. Okay, that's a winning trade. Well, bloody done. Okay, now, did I get one out of this? No, not as yet. Oh, damn. All right. Yeah, AUD-CAD. That was a trade idea I've got. Ashley, please don't say you want to buy this and I'm wrong again. I wouldn't be able to cope, you know, going forward. And Zeph. But any AUD-CAD I see as a short 89.30, 90 stop. That's mine. I haven't got figures here, but that's. I think they put that out because I mentioned that the trade on the strategy room this morning. 89, 90 on the dot, and 87.70 on my figures for the trade. So 89.30 as your sell, in other words, on the sell, and the round figure as the stop loss. And you'll find 90 is nicely out the way up here. See what I mean? So it's out above all the moving averages. I'm going to take those out and give it away a little bit. Above all those moving averages, you can see. So let's let these guys in first. Where are we now? Yeah, okay. Above all those moving averages, around about that level 90. And yeah, and the major on the thing to be holding. So 30, 29, one pip ain't going to shoot you, you know what I mean? It's not going to kill you or whatever. But it's actually getting up a little bit now. So around about these levels, you can enter. Etc. I think you've done it, but I'll put it up anyway for you guys as well. Long, obviously a short, 89.70. It's obviously a short, 9, and the other one 87.70. $90 a micro. How's it, guys? I reckon make sure you got profit. I put it 20 pips above. What was it? I forgot the. What was it? Where's the GBP? Yeah, 1.5220. So if you get stopped out, you made 60. If you don't get stopped out, you'll make more. What a lovely position to be in. Johan, what we talking about now? We're talking about this one. Well, not just technicals. It's getting a bit of a bounce on oil. Remember, it hit the 92 TP, the guys who took my trade idea, and it's getting a bit of a bounce. It's been bouncing most of this morning, going up. Canadian's still strong. I would be backing the Canadian over the AUD, as we discussed many times, and it's compounding the fact it's gone in to the sell zone below the 50, below the 200. It's come back and attacked it. All that support there with the black line, as you can see there. Come down, supported it. We'll look at the 4-hour. See what I mean? Every time it's going up, the sellers are coming in. The 10 dates or 10 hour is being defended. Okay. You can see over the last 4 hours, I'll try the weekly. Similar principle. It came out, attacked this, well, was a resistance, now support for the short. I'll even try a shorter term one. They are same sort of principle, and it's the top of the hourly range as well. So I see there's quite a few pluses on there. Obviously, nothing's 100%. What if it was? We would have a stop loss, and you'd bond or mortgage your house and put a whole lot on it because it'd be guaranteed. That doesn't occur. Remember, if it did, you would never market anyway because nobody buying it off you or selling or whatever. Take the opposite side, in other words. I think error probability is the downside. That's why I reckon it's okay. And luckily, it seemed to be hovering around there to give a chance of people who've missed it to enter. So let's you peruse that, because this is a live trade idea. So we want to, to see if that's okay. Guys are joining all the time, so I'll give them a moment to have a look at it. 30 is well, my idea to going in, but as you can see, it's only about a pip or so difference, so I don't think that's going to make much difference. If it was a sort of 89.19, I would be a bit, I wouldn't be too keen to chase it, but yeah, I think you can chase it there if you like it. If you don't, well, don't. Yeah, not stop out or stop loss. It means stopping the loss, Warren. As everyone's looking at this, I just want to reply to Warren. It means stopping the loss. In other words, you've got to accept, and this is the difficult part in trading, you're wrong. I made a bit of a joke with it this morning. I was wrong in the URCHF, the guys there, Ash and Zeph were. So you just got to accept you're wrong. Not just hold on, convince you, I hope it's going to come right. And then it's continuing to go against you. You're getting stressed and it's blowing your account, and that's just needless. Blame trading, blame everything else, but it's not. It's just purely emotions take control of your rationality, which quite frankly is understandable, happens a lot, and it's just one of the major problems in trading. So in your face, it's so emotional, money is very, very emotional, often the rationality. They treat it like a gambling casino. They have no strategy, just emotional. See reds come up, so I think I fancy red, so I'll bung it on there. And yeah, I'll put a heck of a lot on because red came up last time, so it's going to come up again. I'll put my house on it and wonder why they're homeless. That's just gambling, completely on emotion. And remember, most casinos rely on that for their profit because that's what people do. Try to be a bit disciplined, and you can then beat the house, if you get my point. That takes discipline. Right, and a bit of expertise and knowledge and controlling that. Difficult though it is. They're banking, most people can't. They'll just do it emotionally. All the advice will go out the window and they'll just jump in emotionally, and they're normally right. I say it's like the media selling this spin, same sort of principle. They know most people realize it's BS, but they still get into it because it's emotional. Okay. Right, where were we? Yeah, so the stop loss, what I try and do is put it above a couple of highs out the way. So I've got a daily chart on here, guys, not just for one, for everyone not sure of this. Stop these guys in. So, there we are. Okay, I've put the stop loss. I can see, for instance, on this one, we'll come to when you're in the trade in a moment. I'm putting above above the 50 day, not the daily on, not the 4 hour, the daily on. That's where I do my strategy. I look at the others, but I do my original strategy on the daily. I see it's now in the sell zone. I like the fact the Canadian's better than the AUD, and I like the fact oil's gone up a little bit, which should consolidate. Might look at the weekend 4 hour just in case there's any other hassles or obstacles in the way, but we looked at it now and didn't find them. So I say, right, it looks like a sell. I will then I go to my crosshairs and I'll start putting it up. If that's about pips away, it's too wide. But I start putting above the 50 and then I go above the 10-day moving average, 40 pips. What a pleasure. I put it up above Friday's high, and it was defended. It's only 60 pips. I put a little bit above there, and I think that's a reasonable stop. So that's what giving me my idea of a stop. Some guys might have an area, want to do a longer term trade. They might put the stop up here with a longer TP for their risk reward. That's up to them. And that could be okay. Right. Then I say that is 70 pips. So I know in dollars it's easy. A micro is therefore $7 because it's 10 cents a micro. So I know off the top of my head, it's 70 times 10 cents is $7 US. So in dollars easy, it's $7 for 1 micro is your risk. So I now know if I want to risk 14, it's 2, 21, it's 3, you get the idea. However, now I've got to put it around. So let's say it's 17 plus minus, or 17 times 7 is what, 49, so it's about 110 bucks. So off the top of my head, if you did calculate, so be it, I probably going to practice roughly. So I know it's 110 rand a micro. I want to risk 500, 110 goes 5 times to 550. I'll make the decision, or I go 0.05 or 0.04. I might go 0.05, had a couple of good trades behind me. I've had a couple of bad ones, I might go 0.04. Again, psychological, that's up to you. But that is absolutely vital, and you want to know what you want to risk and divide that in. Now you're in profit, and I think it's more the point you're trying to get. It's down here somewhere. You want to modify your stop. Again, you don't want to get it too close because otherwise you get stopped out in the noise. So you look at the volatility. Volatility on this one depends. You don't know. But let's say it's okay. It's not volatile, horrendously volatile. I might put my stop 20, maybe 30 pips away from where the price is. So let's say it's now 88. Well, let's put this on, give an idea. Let's say it comes off and it's 88.70. I'd put then my stop probably at maybe 9. That's 30 pips away. If it gets stopped out, I still make a profit. If it starts dropping down, I might move it 20 pips away. Get the idea? Something in that line. Just enough to keep it out of the way, but not so far away. I might as well take that profit anyway. There's no point in modifying. The other aspect is not to start modifying too quickly, just because it's a natural emotional thing. And I've done it. Everything I've said, I've done it myself. So I've learned by past mistakes. You got yourself in a 10 pip profit. You've got to use pips because everyone's got different size accounts. Point of saying 100 rands. Me, out of the millions, meaningless. A guy 500, it's a large percentage. I'm going to work on percentages and pips. So the pip is now 10 pips in your favor. You can't suddenly put your stop loss down to entry because you get stopped out in the noise and it goes in the right direction, not on board. So leave it. I would suggest plus minus, rule of thumb on Forex, minus 30 pips in profit. Then you can look to getting your stop down to entry. And then you follow it down maybe 20 pips until you're out. Okay, rule of thumb depending on the volatility. Some are less volatile, no problem. The more volatile, you might want to change to 20 to 30. So you just think in your feet. You got to think, guys. Simple as that. It's nothing like it's basically falling like a parrot. You know, you got to think a little bit on your feet. And then you take something like the Nasdaq. I'm going to knock this off because you're on. Great. Come back if you want. That's a completely different kettle of fish because the volatility is extreme. You can't work 20 pips on the Nasdaq because you'll get stopped out, can virtually guarantee it. Even if it goes the right way, it doesn't matter. If it goes the wrong way, it probably did you a favor, but you're trying to go the right way. So on the Nasdaq, you've got to start thinking, ooh, when I enter 200 pips is your stop loss, but try and look at the correct place. Once you're in profit, if you need to move your stop to 20 pips or 30 pips away, you might as well just take the damn thing and bank it. Because if you put it 26, you're going to get knocked out. And especially at 3:30, because that's going to jump around 100, 150 all over the place on opening. You see my point? So if you, let's say, I want to buy or sell it, I don't know, short it. You can't put a 50 pip stop or a 70 or 80 or 100. It's useless. You've got to put like 200. I can't say my weekly snippet in here. If a guy's got less than about 4 or 5 grand in their account, you can't trade the Nasdaq because you're going to get knocked out, whether you go long or short, whether you're right or wrong in the noise. And you can't afford to have a stop wide enough that if it does go against you, your account can handle it because it's too damn small. No more. Sorry, I'm being honest with you. It's too damn small. So you've got a choice. Leave it alone, find something else, or fund your account. Remember, if you're undercapitalized in anything, it's not going to happen for you. It's like putting you bet on the favor in the horse race. Not favor, let's say an outsider in the horse race. You're lucky enough it came in. You're not going to make any money because your accounts are small. You only had a small amount on in the first place. You got no wiggle room. A guy with 500 rands has got no wiggle room. You can go for maybe, if he's got a 5-to-1, he can go into bigger positions. Then he's going to get margin call. Never mind the stop losses. Even 5-to-1, 1,100-to-1. Can't go in more than one at a time. Can't go in 2 or 3 and only 0.01. So it's just wow. Incredibly limited. So you need, if you can't, you can't. But clearly, that's one of those things. I can't go and afford to buy, a lovely 100 million rand business, but I don't expect to get the same returns 1,000 rand business as a 100 million rand business. To me, that's utter complete beyond complete total common sense. But because the emotion overcomes that, we have this expectation that you can get the kind of returns the big boys get with no capital. That's why it's called capitalism. You need to do it properly. Otherwise, you're living on a wing and a hope that your lottery ticket might come in. But the odds are unlikely you're going to win 50 million rand. The odds are more likely to lose 10 rand. Just use common sense and try and understand that. If your maths is beyond you, you're in the wrong business. You go and get a maths course because you've got to understand that. Basic arithmetic is very, very important. You've got to convince the majority, not half, majority of the people do not understand leverage, how it works, the pros and cons, or even the fact they're in high risk, high return leverage markets. And that is really coming back and biting. And these sort of things are basics and not that complicated. Not saying I know it. It's not even matric maths. It's basic stuff. And if one doesn't understand that, you don't know you're driving a car at 300, you think you're driving at 40, and you wonder why when you have a crash or you're locked on the loading cell, you don't know why. Because you didn't know you're driving too fast. Simple as that. Why do I believe the TP is the correct place? Have a look. I hope you understood that, Warren. If not, we can explain again because everyone's got to understand. It's very important. It's not a thumbs up, the stop loss. It is not a thumbs up. Right. Okay. It's getting, if you're not in now, if it gets below 20, I wouldn't chase it. Okay. Why did I put the TP down? That's the question. Well, I looked at let's have a look. I looked at down here and I saw around about here, where's it? 8770. There's a little bit, you can make it slightly wider TP if you like, but I thought that seems to have a little bit of resistance on the body. I ignored the, what should we call it, the wicks there on the body, around about there. As I said before, Etienne and company, the TP is the least year worry. Use it for to get a risk reward. Once that's sorted, it's all about risk management. As it's coming off, you're making a profit, that's fine. Let's say it doesn't get there. I don't think you're going to be too upset if you modified your stop and you stopped out to, let's say, 88. You're not exacting the burst into tears by making 120, 130 pips profit instead of 150. I don't need to come after me and send me death threats. You get my point. So there. No, not the wicks, the body. What have I got down here? 87.70. Around about that level there. 87.70. Around about that level there. If you want to take a TP down there, you can. Maybe you always modify it. My major worry is to get it down here. Once you're in a profit, hallelujah. Then you can play around, move your TP, completely modify your stops and your stopped out, however you want to play the game. But once I got the risk reward, for instance, I thought it's a good TP here. I might not be so keen to take the trade. That's what the TP is for, because I find I've got a possibility of making 80 pips, but it's costing me 100 pips risk to take it. It's not worth my while. But once I've got a ratio 1.5 and above, I'll be quite honest, I completely ignore the TP, totally ignore it until it gets near. Then I say, shall I get myself TP'd out instead of stopped out? Or shall I modify and see if I can get some more, depending. Or I may even cut my position. I've got, let's say, 10, I might bank 5 and let the other 5 run. Something like that. Does that make sense, guys? Because this is important stuff. Conservative, I think it's not a bad one, Tebu. It's not aggressive is the one where I went for the gold on the buy. I think it was on Friday for a jump from 1700 aiming at 1720, and I said once you're $3-4 up, not money, I mean in the price of gold up, start getting your stop up quickly because you're going against the trend. That was highly aggressive going against the trend, and it worked okay. Made some money on it. This is to me a fashion out one that. Put it this way, if it was aggressive, we wouldn't have sent it out. We talk a lot of aggressive ones here, guys. It took the trouble to come here, hopefully start to get the understand the differentials, what's going on. It's a different kind of people we're dealing with. The guys at the office sending out to guys who don't know one-on-one, acting nasty there, but not as knowledgeable as it should be. Their levels of knowledge are not that high, should we put it diplomatically like that. So they will only send ones out that are fairly reasonable on the plus side. It can go wrong, of course they can. So the fact you received it means it will not be aggressive. We tried to look at maybe some aggressive trades for guys but we found they just didn't understand what's going on, misinterpreted, and then they don't take a look at themselves. They took a look at everybody else and start blaming, which unfortunately seems to be quite the thing. But I hope that sort of made sense. Okay, Tebu. I'm saying that to you because you took the trouble to come here. You take the trouble to make the effort. It's so unfair they wouldn't give me a doctor's job because I was far too busy to go and study for it. Well, you know what I mean? That sort of attitude. Okay. Right. I don't know if gold popped up to get the entry. What's gold doing at the moment? No, I don't think it did. Just look at gold. I want to get it 1712. I don't think we've got the 1712. Let's get in there. I'm not against chasing it now. If you take 1690, probably get a risk reward. So if you chase it now, probably just squeeze it. I'd like to stick with the stop at 22. 1722. But instead of 1700, make it 1690. Good chances dollars continues to strengthen. It's popped up and down. I've got the hour in front of me on the other screen, the DXY, popped up again. Now it's just a scratch below 110. It came off a bit and then a few more buyers came in. So it's hovering around that level, which is pretty strong. Remember we talked many times about the DXY aiming at 110 and that certainly came off. Probably hover a bit after such a large move up over the last few trading days going to last week. So it might be a bit sideways, but overall it's quite strong. And we had the gold below 1701 stage with the around about the 108.80, 109-ish mark on the DXY, and it's higher than that at the moment. I'm just going to quickly look at the yields. I know you'll know what I'm talking about now, so I've posted enough times how to have that. I trust you'll save it. Yeah, it's still over 3 points, plus minus 3.2%. So it's over 3%. Again, high yields. That's bad for the markets, the indices, and bad for gold. So, so overall, sell the rallies. If you want to go against the trend, make sure it's quick. Move your stop loss quickly because it's aggressive, and those often come from what we call a profit-taking oversold bounce. And then you can start to take, as long as you understand that principle, you can start to take advantage of it, as long as you understand that. Okay, so if you want to chase it now, you can look, risk is not ideal, but you can, and you're looking at 21 or 200 bucks a mini, 21. Call it 20 bucks a micro. Remember, a micro is very different from micro on Forex or the others. It's tiny amounts. You might want to go a mini. But anyway, you look at what you do the maths. I can't spell that out. You surely can do that yourself. And and if you want to chase it there, I'm not sure we're going to get 1712, but it's up to you. As for AUD/CAD, if you haven't joined yet, it might be starting to get a little bit late. It should join it now at 30. It's 12 pips below. Have a look at your risk reward. It might be a bit late to join. The ship might have settled. You might get if it goes up and down, it might get retraced back up to a better price. But look at your risk reward. See if it's worth joining now. Probably see if it can come up a bit. Okay. Okay, I did look at Euro NZD earlier on, ADJBY. I'll just see it. I think we missed that one. I want to get it at 60, not at 70. I think we'll just hang 5 on that. I think that ship might have sold at this price. I prefer a better price. And I'm going to be just as bad. I was a bit wussish. It was 106 early, 60 myself. Should I join it? Might get it 106.50. I thought, and it moved up, and I missed it. So I'm not in. I want to get in 106.60 or better, and I'm not sure I want to chase it here. Okay, but keep an eye on that. If it drops back a bit, someone let me know. We'll have a look at it. Okay. The other one I want to get a better price on to sell it is EURNZD. It's going up. Good stuff. We might just get it. I want to get it the round figure 1.63. I mentioned that in the strategy room earlier on when the price was around about. Sorry, I will not speak too quick. Just tell me if when the price is down there somewhere, I want to short it, but I want to get a better price. And if we can get it near the round figure mark, we can do it around the 1.63. It seems to be gliding in that direction. So we can get right about 1.63. I would like to short that. And the stop could be, where's this now? That's too far away. We try it. Oh, that's the only trouble. Ooh, I don't like that at all. That's the only trouble. On Friday, it moved a hell of a lot. I prefer to have the stop up there, but I think it's going to be too wide. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure I want to. Just 180 pips is a bit of a wide stop. We might have to use the 4-hour for the stop. Let's have a look what we do on the 4-hour for the stop. We're at around about these levels here. 40, 50, look at 80. We might have to use the 4-hour for the stop, somewhere there, and then take it down again. But I see the possibility of a short on this one. I think the NZD is still a bit stronger than the euro. I think after that flurry of what we had last week, the expectation interest rates be increased, I think that's been built in. And I think, as I know, because I went in again with Euro CHF, I came right from last time around, guys. I'm not sure we're going to get that much strength, so we might get a bit of pullback on that one. But I have to say, my little bit lack of confidence is the 4-hour, because if it does come off, it's got to penetrate these guys and these guys to make it worth your while. And on the moving average on the 4-hour, that is a bit of resistance. So even if you do take it and you get in the down to, and you take it around to this level, it's still going to be about 50 odd pips. So if you get any hassles there and you've taken the trade, I reckon maybe just grab your profit. And I don't send me hate mail for a 50 pip profit instead of 150 pip profit, if you get my point. Is that all clear? I'm talking there, but I hope it's all clear. Any comments, anything there you're not sure about? Sure. So I presume no arguments what I'm talking about there. Everyone's clear. If you want to look at that, I want to get a 1.63. Remind me of that. Remember the CAD JPY, that's your job, guys. I just issued there some homework for you. Keep an eye on around about the 60 or better on the CAD JPY. And if that can just go up a little bit further, we might bring me back to it. Okay, if you want to take it. Hope that was all clear. If not, please tell me. This is very important stuff that you need to know those kind of basics. All right. Okay. Yeah. I think you called me Yellow Roger this way because I'm a bit hesitant on the pound dollar, and it did well. Your brilliant trade, and it did well. Was it? No, sorry, it's Seppard, whatever it was. I can't remember his name. Mr. S. I want to get in 60 whatever it is, blah, blah, blah. The last two figures, 60 or better. Last two, yeah, you know what I mean? Not the points, the pips. Forgot the numbers now, actually. 105, I think it is. Yeah, wait, yeah, 106, 60 or better. Yeah, so I'll be honest, I'm just nervous of chasing these heights. Dollar's still king, I get that. Yeah, it's starting to go back to near 110 again. Yeah, I do see upside. I see 143 as a possibility. It's just me being nervous chasing it. Do you want to chase it there or do you want to pull back? Well, if you set at 139, you got 05. Make it right. Let's get to 139.5. I'll get a 139. You know what I mean? It's not, you're going to go to the round figure, but so make it 139 to stop. And then take it to then you take the 143. Problem is that is you're going to get a 1-for-1 ratio. Is it? No, you're not. Talking rubbish. No, you're not. It's 250, 150. No, you can do okay. Just about squeeze it. If you want to do it, it's going to be a big stop though, okay? But I see the upside. Maybe you're right, Zeph. Someone's got a mathematical brain, and well done. I like it. That's probably a possibility, but a wide stop basis. 139, and we'll make it 3. I think you just might do that. Yeah, just about squeeze it. I haven't a problem with that. It's going to cost you $200 a micro, or just nearly $200 a micro, but so be it. But yeah, the yen is weak. Got a little, even oil's going up a little bit. I've been going on about oil. I think we're going to be hot 90 on Brent, and the dollar is almighty. Yeah. And the Japanese, believe me, don't like paying for all of this exchange rate, but they're very happy to start exporting Sony and Toyota again and be able to compete with the South Koreans, because they're now getting a favorable exchange rate on their exports. So they'll be happy from that point of view. Okay, Werner, no problem. Catch you, Professor, I'll call you, going to call me Doc. Catch you, Professor, at sure. Okay, good enough. Anyone want to do these at these figures? Philip's going to leave it alone. Finey's in. Anybody else want to go for it? Well, I suppose you're sort of obliged in a way, hey, Zeph? Since your idea. Okay, good enough. US dollar Japanese. Just give me a moment to write it down. What was the price? 104. 139, 143. Okay, good enough. Point bears. See, now gold's bouncing around. You've all got that. We can go back and look at a gold entry, because you can go in for gold, I think, now. The dollar's holding above 110. Have you all got that? I'm going to go to gold now. It's bounced. Not quite 1712, but not far off it. So you might want to look at squeezing it in now for the short, if you haven't already taken it. Okay. I think it was sent out, so the stop loss TP are all there. I'll give it to you if you haven't got it. I think it was 22, I think it was. Write it down. Why haven't I written it down? Look at you. Just give me a second, write it down. Sell 11712, 22, 1690. There we are. Yeah, you can make 1722, 1690. If you go in now, yes, that's basically a $10 stop. So that's basically $10 a minute, not a micro, a mini. So it's $10 a minute, or 170 rand a minute. And the standard would be obviously 1,700, a little bit different, rand, or $100. Don't go for a micro on this, you're wasting your time. It's too small. So you got yourself a bit of a bounce there if you want to take it. So I suggested strongly to the guys in the strategy room, please send it out as a pending order with the price around about 1712. I'm not sure we should be chasing it. 1709 it was earlier on. It's bouncing around a bit. It's giving you the opportunity for the sell. And unless some bomb goes off somewhere, remember the fear factor on gold. with it above 100, it would surprise me. Market continues to surprise me, but I'll be very surprised if it goes back up, right up again, with the dollar being so strong. But again, that's why I have a stop loss, because actually that the markets come up and said go figure. That's why you have to stop loss. But error probability, yeah. And look at the 1 hour chart, sort of hovering around a bit. There we are. Came off, and let's say it came off again with a bit of luck. Now I see it hovering a bit, but I think it's probably the bigger boys waiting for the other guys to chicken out, and it'll come off. That often happens. You get so frustrated, you're in a couple of bucks profit, and you take it, and then it comes zooming off. So give it a bit of a chance. But I think you can chase it around about these levels, okay, if you want it. Happy? Right. And how's that AUD/CAD doing? It's okay, it's sort of gone to profit. I think, do we have any trades going back to re-look at? Oh, it was the 8th, so we can ignore that. So I'll ignore that. 31st had a few to look at. CHF JPY turn out okay. EUR/CHF in the end it did. Well, the first one wrong, I admit that, but in the end I took it short, it came to a party. Pound CAD's done all right. Previous CAD JPY, Euro GBP, well, that went wrong. Okay, that one went wrong. Yeah, otherwise they seem to be okay on the updates. AUD/USD. That's already did a nice profit. I wouldn't chase it again now. If you're in, probably get a bit more out of it actually. 774, our TP at 725. So it's only 20 pips away from the TP. Clearly don't chase it now, but you've all modified your stops. That's the winning one. The EuroCAD I mentioned didn't do too well. CAD JPY did. CHF JPY. Oh, CHF JPY I think did pretty well. We had a long on that, round about the 142 mark, something like that. Yeah, that's done all right. You should have your stop loss in profit. So yeah, those are all. So we don't have to recap them anymore. We're fine with those. Okay. I won't be chasing it now. Let's go back a bit. Won't be chasing it now. I'm still around on the Nasdaq. I'm a problem with the sector. I'm still believe there's more downside before we get back into the bull market, like I've said. A lot of guys say, we didn't the Nasdaq will be in a couple of years' time. I'm probably back up at 16, 17,000. Tech rules, there's no doubt about it, and it's just going to continue rule. But to think the pullback is still in operation. I think the 12, round about the 12,000, if it holds, it could get a break up. How far will the daily? Could break up, back up, you know, where it jumps around. 500 pips is not a big deal on the Nasdaq. Could jump back up to 12.5 or 12.4, something like that, before coming down. I am a little bit loath to buy it. I'd rather sell a rally. I wouldn't sell it now because chances are it's going to bounce from the round figure 12,000 and then go up a bit and then set it down. If it breaks below 12,000, the next stop I think is 11,500, and then we could get some consolidation. And from those levels, I expect it happens to coincide with a 2-3 year Fibonacci 618 hold, which is quite strong. I think 11.5 or maybe even a little bit lower might. Have I got that right? Or have I got that wrong? Let's go to the weekly again. Just make sure I've got my figures right here. Right, where are we? We're just going to get this the right way around. Do that. That's right. Do a Fibonacci from a long. Presume you're going to go long. I know I talk about short. I'm talking about retracement here. Yeah, 618. Was it 10.5 that it was? Sorry, wrong. There we are. Sorry, 10.5. Yeah, I think it's a good chance you could pull back the 618 fib. I think that would hold. And then I think once that's held, picking up and then start taking off a bit, and then we can start reaching those 17,000 highs again over a period of a year or two. So yeah, to me, short the rally, but I wouldn't be touching it now. If you get a better price, maybe 12.4, 12.5, maybe short it down, depending if, have a look at your DXY, have a look at your yields to see if they're fairly high, which is bad for the markets. If that's the currency, you get an option to sell it down. If 12,000 breaks, then you sell it down to 11.5, make sure you've got a 200 pip stop. And if that breaks, etc., we'll face that when we come to it. Hope that sort of makes sense. But I'm not at the moment. I won't be selling it now. It's 12,000 could hold. Hope that sort of makes sense. Anyone disagree with me? Yeah, no, I want to get, I said that to him. I mean, I want to get it at 60, and I hesitated. He went to 70, and I was too scared to chase it. I'm not sure we can get the pullback. I think we just have to say, sod it, that should get out. But I'm not sure I want to be chasing it 70 or 75 now. I think we might have missed that. You're at ND. I don't think you guys are too keen, but I wanted to get in there around about the round figure. If we can get that, and then you're going to have a 4 hour for the stop and take it down. Don't know if anyone wants to do that one. On the wrong thing here. Yeah, if we can get a little bit better price, I think we can maybe get that one as a short. But trying to get the 163 mark on the bid, not on the ask. Okay, all clear, not too fast. Can repeat anything, all understood. Then if you went into the gold, start to come back off again. So if you went to the gold round about the 12 plus mark, 17, 12 plus mark, hold on. If you didn't enter, well, you might just squeeze it now, but preferably the 17, 12 mark. Okay. And the CAD, you might have missed it. If you're not in, let's have a look, give me a chance to join it. AUD CAD. Yeah, the first 30, joining at 21, pushing the boundaries. I suppose you could push it above 20, but if it goes below 20, that ship sailed. Thanks, Solly. I'm impressed because you guys are going a lot better now, to be fair. It does frustrate me when you say, you know, put a particular entry in, ship has sailed, and the guys don't see that and they jump in. Now the risk, instead of being 1.8, so like about 1 for 1, because, you know, the more the ship has sailed, the further away from the stop loss and the close to the target. So all your risk reward are completely up the spout. We actually had a chat this morning, guys. We have a couple of meetings, strategy meeting, and before that we have the office meeting, trying to bring out ideas to increase the basic knowledge of our traders, because there's so many guys coming into this business. We're not expecting to become a mechanic, but before you drive a car, we want to know, you know, what a steering wheel is, what a gear lever is, what a brake is, what accelerator is, what a clutch is, you know, basics. And they're trading without even those basics, and it's not good, you know. Never mind the money side of it. It's not nice, because a lot of these guys who's biting are the people who least afford it for fight. You know what I'm saying? Some of the guys are multimillionaire and he's a bit of an idiot. He loses a couple of thousand rand. Well, it's a bit of luck, that's it. These guys, they can ill afford to do that. And it's just because they're just not getting the fact we've got to get some basics. So we're throwing around those ideas and trying to even put a simpler course out just to get some basics, because a horrendous amount of losses and mistakes are made on stuff that, quite frankly, needless, because it's not that complicated just to overcome those basics. Not even talking the trick level, you know, common sense, you know. If you see sell at 162.92 and you want to sell it, the price is 162.60. Well, I hope that don't be knowledgeable and know that ship was sailed. That's sort of trying to get it through. It's frustrating on our part, but more to the point, not my frustration or anyone else's, it's upsetting to see guys who can ill afford to lose it, and when it's totally and utterly unnecessary. Right, the thing jumps up, we said, sure, it was my idea, and it went against. Sorry, guys, did my best. So that happens. But, you know, don't go in with, you know, you've got 1,000 in your account and find one leverage, and then because you got the deposit so low, you go in 10 times the position size and don't understand why your margin called, and why, you know, those things got to be understood. They don't, Lorenzo. It is actually terrifying. I'm not talking about the training room, any of the training. We got the software to check to see who, guys, it's all done online now, who opens it up or not. It's astounding percentage of people who pay good money monthly and don't even open up the first page of the bloody book or the course or whatever. And yet they open accounts, they put nothing in it, no idea what's going on, and start pressing buy and sell buttons. I mean, no. Is there anybody there who'll hand car keys to your 7-year-old child so drive off to Durham for me? You know? Well, that's slightly different. You can kill yourself there, kill yourself here. But I'm trying to get it through, please. Like anything, respect it. You expect a doctor, a dentist, a mechanic, whatever. Respect it. Is it? Okay, thanks for the reminder. Yeah, 30 was it, but close to 30. So it's 3-4 pips won't hurt. So if you miss the AUD, you can go for it. These M1's up to you. I don't know about M1, M5. That doesn't tell you squat. I mean, the spread will kill that. That's for prop traders. You've got no spread works for the company. Don't want to do another M1's up to you, do what you like. But don't put that out to guys who they'll start looking at M1's for entry. That's not going to work. Where were we? CAD, that's right. CAD, JPY, that should sell. Damn it. That's my fault. That chicken out should be on board on that one. I'm Lloyd now. Okay, right. We've covered quite a bit as we do. Anything else you guys like to look at? Anything you've got your eye on you'd like to have a look at? Gold's playing silly buggers. What's he doing up there? The dollar's gone up again. That's to see. The market always do funny things. That's something you cannot control. So you need to be able to control the stuff you can. Now it's gone up, shooting up again. So that's now annoying. Don't know what it's doing up there, but it's giving the chance to guys to get on board. So if you miss the boat, here's a great chance to get on board. Yeah. I mean, technical's all good stuff, Zeph, but if you don't understand risk management and margin, I mean, you're a superb driver of your car, but you don't have a speedometer. So you have no idea how good a driver you are. You're driving 180 because you're a nice smart car, got the air conditioning on, it's nice and stable. And it doesn't feel like you're doing 180 because you haven't got a speedometer to tell you. And then you wonder why you get stopped and all sorts of trouble. No, absolutely. This is very important. Pound dollar. I'm scared of chasing it now, but maybe someone's got more guts than me, wants to chase it. Well, if they want to, it's up to them. Right, moving on to this one now. Yeah, again, I want to get a better price. I said that the last couple of days, missed the damn thing. So, don't know. Do you want to chase it here? Oh, by the way, on that subject, nearly forgot. The nomination of the next Prime Minister in the UK is happening today. Forget the times now. It's later on today. Probably count the internal votes. It's not a universal plebiscite. It's just done within the party. But they're getting a lot of votes in outside to recommend on it, and it looks like overwhelmingly the likelihood is going to be a major upset. If Rishi Sunak gets in, so it looks like this trust is going to be our new Prime Minister. GBP's new Prime Minister, UK new Prime Minister. Might get a bit of settling on the pound on that. So just be aware of the pound, because once that's sort of released, you might get a negative or positive depending on how the market looks. I think if it'd been Rishi Sunak getting in, I think we're going to jump in the pound, because he's very much more an economic man. Liz Truss is very the right thing for people to get votes, John, if you know what I mean. All very lovable on that, but not always economically sound. Well, that's what he does. He's the ex-chancellor of the Checker, for goodness sake. So if he gets in, almost certainly we'll get a big jump in the pound. So just be a little bit careful of the pound till we get the results through. But it looks almost certain like a Liz Truss. Just a little filling in on that. Okay. I haven't got time to open up on the trading room, that Marumo, just so I'll take your word for it's okay, whatever it is. Okay, yeah. So if you missed the gold, here's a good chance to get in. Osborne just joined, so if you've missed the gold, if you're on board, Osborne, great. If you're not on board, here's a chance to get in and sell the gold. We covered the 110 mark in the DXY, which is a strong dollar's bad for gold. I think you're aware of that now. You're in. Okay, that's fine. Bounced up, don't know quite why. It's just decided it's going to really bounce up the last hour or so. But yeah, there's a chance to go in and short it. If you're not in, if you are in, obviously, stick with it. Okay, well, to take a pause on that, guys. Just going to go back to Lorenzo there. Would you not agree, Lorenzo, that the risk reward and equity management is absolutely vital? Would you not? Maybe I'm asking you to back me on that, but it sounds like I'm fishing, which I suppose I am. But just it's nice to have another person sort of say their opinion, not just me, you know, as a sort of backup. You know, don't you agree? It's because it is really causing a major problem amongst traders who are just not getting equity management or position sizing correct. Thank you, Johan. These guys push it through. Absolutely. The more cards, the more I understand. But you don't attend many classes to know you've got to have a budget to work with. I can tell you right now, my darling, please, before you go out shopping, please, we have a budget. Yeah, done. One sentence, really. And that's what it is. And they're shopping without a budget, and then it's coming back to life. I've just taken up piano lessons and suddenly find I can't afford the second one. So I start complaining. I can't play like Beethoven after one lesson. You know? No. Actually, I can play like Beethoven after half a lesson, but I'm just that good. Or Liszt, if you know your music. He was another virtuoso on the piano. Yeah, I mean, Lauren, exactly. Do you go out shopping unless you're some sort of Elon Musk billionaire without looking? I want to say if you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. That's billionaire stuff. But I'm presuming not many billionaires sitting here. So I presume you go to the shops, whatever. Doesn't that just be sort of, you know, grocery, any shopping? I presume you look at the price, you look at the budget, you realize. But if you do that in your normal going out, why not do it here? Same principle. And risk reward, absolutely. I always use this thing. You live in Joburg, would you go drive down to Bloemfontein to pick up a package for me? If you do, I'll give you 500 Rand. Well, you wouldn't do it, would you? Because it would cost you more than that in petrol, probably toll gates as well. And you might have to stay overnight in your B&B or whatever you do. Well, clearly, your risk reward is pointless. And that's another important part. Yeah. Well, that's mostly unfortunately what they do. The emotions take over and end up gambling. And normally the house wins when you gamble. In fact, they always win because when you have a lucky run, you hooked, so you go back and put it back the next day. It's supposed to be a game of skill, but if you act like you're gambling, well, in fact, I don't know any occasion really where you end up pissed off, to be honest. Egg in your face or whatever you want to say. Okay, vital stuff. Common sense, but when the emotions take control, we forget it. Looking at gold here, it's confusing me a bit. It's shooting back up there again because it's right on support there. Can you see that? Why is it bouncing up when the dollar is so strong? I thought we got, and once it got down to about 109, 1709 mark, I thought, hang on, we can start getting the movement down. It's popped up again. Maybe it's just trying to tempt guys to do funny things, the big boys maybe. But yeah. Strange. CAD would be a great entry at 105. You can sort like that, actually. It might seem a great entry at 104 because it's so far away that shouldn't worry about that if it gets there. Yeah. If it does get back there, like what's happened to the oil price, that's so far away. It's sort of saying, yeah, I think you should buy put a buy stop on the Nasdaq at 15,000, and then it comes right in 2 years' time, I'd pat myself on the back. But and if it doesn't, everyone's forgotten anyway, so I can't lose on it. But I'm more about right now, and right now, Euro, or what's it, Euro NZD we're looking at earlier on? Hey, it's popped up a bit. That's worrying. It's popped as far as that, but it's looking like we've got a good chance of that. Popped up here. There's a bit of resistance there in the 4 hours. Looking at the weekly, there's a bit there. Still like the euro is a weaker one, but you got a momentum up and might get a better price. Still there's a possibility of a short on this one, but I'm not sure we joined just yet. It might go up to 24 and then hold, move down. So keep an eye on this one. We might get a trade on this one. I would like to get it one at 106.60 or better. Get 106.50 or even 106.40, even better. But at least 106.60 or better. I think this might break down again below 163. I'm not sure it's going to get right up there. So I quite like this one. Anyone not keen? Anyone keen? We can put the stop. I think I have to use a 4 hour, unfortunately. Let's use the 4 hour. Yeah, I'll use the 4 hour, make it up there, just above the last few 4 hour jobs, 163.66. So try that. And take it down to, could be a bit of a problem actually. Take it a bit down. What's that say? Make it 162. You might be squeezing a risk reward there. It's my only issue. Yeah, we'll have to take it a bit lower. Silly problem. That should do it. I think squeeze it in there. And I like the look of this one. I was checking that out to look at the economic calendar, what's happening today. Nothing. Oh, yes, I forgot. Yeah. Don't forget today, it might be a little bit quieter because the Americans Labor Day. So Americans have got a day off today. So Canada's also Labor Day. America and Canada, day off today. So you won't expect to see the NASDAQ jumping around the upper street as you normally will because they won't be open. The American Canadian markets will not be open today. So just bear that in mind. On the pound, we had the PMI, Post-Demand Index, coming out, and the services, composite and services, and they were both slightly lower. So the costs were slightly down, which sort of maybe helped the pound a little bit, but I wouldn't get too excited. The more thing to watch on the pound today is who's going to be the next prime minister. Okay. AUD came out with some this morning on the retail sales. expected 1.3, exactly 1.3 was the actual. So no, completely as expected. So no real hassle on that one. So yeah, so there's nothing else today to interfere. Only tomorrow you start worrying again as regards what's happening in America, Canada, etc. Just bear that in mind. Okay, so anyone like the Euro NZD seem to be coming off as we spoke? Did anyone get in on that one? If we do, I'll write it down. Anyone got on and got into it? Yarp is in. Anybody else to join him so I can get it written down?
Then. Yes. Yes. Question paper again. Okay,
good stuff. Thanks, guys. Right, there down.
19.
We got in at 163.02. Well, I did anyway. We'll put Mohammed 163 for us here, so we'll see how that works out. Okay, see about that. AUDCAD. Have you all got that? Can I knock it off?
All right.
Going to knock off the noise, by the way, just a second. It's a bit of background noise. If you want to speak, tell me you're muted and I'll unmute you. Before we have a look at the others, and just have you got that down? Anybody else? Just give them a chance, you know. Have pen and paper, remember, pen and paper handy. You see something, act on it, put your entry in if you're happy, then you can put your stop loss TP in afterwards if it's moving quickly. It's up to you. And then so we don't have to spend half an hour to, do the thing. Okay, so I can move on. Okay, I'm not getting any A or no, so I'll move on. I assume you're in. If you're not in, well, you're not in. Okay, Golisay can join now if you want to sell. Good stuff, Henny. What else? CAD, JPY. Those are the ones who go out to the AUD sale. AUD, CAD, 23. It is slightly in profit, a bit quiet. I think you could join it now if you wanted. I think send out to signal, so you can use the same parameters there. Slightly in profit. It's not drastically so you can do it. US dollar JPY, about the same. Going at 50, it's 51. Same thing. Okay, CAD JPY, we've mentioned many times, ship that sale. So we've got AUD CAD, gold as a sell, gold as a sell, dollar yen as a buy, and euro NZD as a sell. That's not so bad. We've got four, see how they go. We can update as we go along up to 11 o'clock and later on this afternoon. TP on the EUR. Always have a pen and paper handy, guys, because then you don't have to miss out. But if you're in the trade, it doesn't matter. We always remember, if you're in the trade, you always put the stop loss TP in afterwards. So, yeah, very, very important. I hope you got that, because the thing is flying. By the time you faffed around putting the SL and TP and press the buy sell button, whatever it is, you can move out in 10 pips, and then your risk rewards up to magnets. But I've got it down here as 1.6175. 1.6175. I'll put it down just to make it some clearer. 1.6175. There you are, knowledge. What's the NAS doing? Popping up a little bit. Thought that might happen. I think it's going to get a bounce on the NAS, but I'm suggesting you don't buy it. We don't know what the extension of that bounce is going to be. It's just not worth the bloody trauma that goes with it. Just if you're already in short, that's not going to be happy for you. But you should be looking at taking profit. You should have got in around about the 12.4, 12.5 mark. You should be taking profits anyway. Now, if it bounces, which is quite funny, I hope it does, for those who can afford and do trade the NASDAQ, see if we can get a decent bounce to set it down again. Okay. I think it's the 140.50 mark. So it's slightly below that now, which we're getting on the ask anyway. But we've got it down here as, make sure, yeah, 140.5, very wide stop, 39, and 143 as a TP. Thank you, Lauren. When I see Lauren Funapole, I always think of Lawrence Funapole, you know, the famous South African author, if you remember him. I read one, two of his books, brilliantly written. Okay. Right, so we've covered that little lot. Anything else we want? We've got another 20 minutes or so to keep you highly knowledgeably entertained. Any questions? We all understand now how to go and look at, for instance, this one's got here, specifications. You know how to do that. You see your margin and you can see the contract size. So you can do the maths accordingly. But overall, the NASDAQ and the Forex is basically 10 US cents. Not exactly true, because it works on 100,000 contract of the base currency. Well, a pound is clearly higher than an Aussie or a New Zealand dollar or a Canadian dollar or any of the others. But just worked around it, sort of give an idea on it. About 10 US cents a micro, so a pip on the micro. But you got the position size calculator anyway to help you out. But just remember, it's 100,000 contract size throughout a Forex of the base currency. So it's 100,000 euros or 100,000 pound or whatever, $100,000, whatever. Okay, right. Euro USD. So on one big one. Again, I don't know. I'm just a bit nervous of chasing here, Maruma. To be honest, I still would think the dollar's strong. I think it's a little bit overcooked at these levels. I want to sell it, but I want to sell it probably about these levels, but over 100 pips up and get it around about this level here. I'd be more keen to sell it around about these sort of levels here. Maybe here, somewhere around about there. Got sort of near the top of the range here. You see, my problem with chasing it now is it's going to be pressurized if it gets any weaker to start increasing more than expected interest rates, which will strengthen it. A lot of pressure. So, and it's been backed up. Look at that. Look at this today. This is 10.5 hours old today, and look at that wick. As you can see, the buyers have come in when it's popped down further. So I'm not sure I'd be keen to chase it now. I'm certainly not keen to buy it. Rather, if you, instead of buying it up there, rather wait. If it gets around about these levels, and sell it down again. Trade that range until we either get a breakthrough or a break up. Okay. Sell the rally rather than buy the bottom of the range, in my opinion. That's my opinion anyway. Anyone disagree with that? If you do disagree with me, I've made a new rule after what happened with me with Ashley and Zeph. You're immediately fired. You're fired. So you can go and chase them on their WhatsApp and make some money. No, just joking. But on a more serious note, anybody disagree with that? Are you happy with that? Well, I mean, you know, got to get a chance to take the mickey, because I would the other way around, my friend. I would not let it go. Okay. So we've got 4 out. We've got another few minutes. If you haven't got a trade in clarity, you've all got the DXY now, position size calculator, the 10-year note, the heat map. You all know what leverage is. You know the difference between a high leverage and lower leverage, and it all becomes irrelevant as long as you've got your risk down. So now you're risking 500 for argument's sake on a per trade or per instrument. That means you double up. So you're going twice the 500 risk on ABC, and then you have 1,000 rand risk, but per instrument. Doesn't matter 1,000, 10,000, million, or one, I don't know, whatever, because you know when you go into position size, you know if it goes wrong and you're stopped out, At that stop when you enter 500. Then you modify, so you're reducing your risk till it gets to entry and you can't lose. Then it's in profits, you can only make money when it happens. Those are the principal basic details one has to master and understand. Yeah, it's giving some jip, this gold. What's doing up there after the dollar's so strong? It's come off a little bit of dollar, but none of everybody shout, scream, and panic about. Let's try and move back up to 110 again. So all that's given to me, it's given another opportunity if you missed it to go in. Actually, the scalper's a bit of a nice one. If you got down to 1708, someone just took it and then go in again. But yeah, you can go in now. Yeah. Don't forget, you still have the stop loss because, as you know, hey Ash, hey Zeph, hey Etienne, hey everybody's trading finally, etc. The market can do so, go figure kind of things. That's why I always have the stop loss, always have the budget. So you know if it does do something daft, it's not going to cripple you financially. Very important. But all things being equal, that should be okay to go in now. Yeah, you can if you like, but only if you got some money in your account, because it takes, sounds a bit harsh, this, it takes a lot of stress, time, hassle, and energy to deal with people. And I'm basically on my own in a certain way. I can unsupervised give trade ideas. The others can't, unfortunately. So, you know, guys are struggling around and spending a long time and really haven't got enough money to actually trade and don't understand that, which is probably even more important than lack of money. So if you've got, I suppose the fact you take the trouble to come here, you've got some idea what's going on. That's what I want to do. People have got some idea. I can't spend hours explaining basics. It's not my job. They should know that before they start anyway. But yeah, I can put it down on that basis for you. But as long as you don't play me on a demo or 200 Rand your account or something, because you waste your own time, never mind mine. If you do, just tell me when you do WhatsApp me, your full names and preferably if you can your real account number, so I can update this site, so I can see, because I have to see, because I can't advise us to see what you got. But don't worry, I can't tamper them. I'm not sitting and telling anymore. It's nobody's business. Like, what do you call it when you do lawyers? Client privilege, that's the thing. I'm very strong on that, so don't worry about that. Because I can get into trouble by being honest, saying Seth Friedman's got $2 million in his account. I'm not allowed to, I'm not allowed to say that. Because he's been going on trades where I've disagreed with him. That's why it's done well. Eh? But no, joking apart, there you are. And I pray, put it down, I don't know, a lot of it's common sense. Just employ common sense, which often goes out the window. And it's now this, my experience, I've done it all myself. I'm not saying anything I haven't done myself. Rational's gone out the window, common sense gone out the window, and the money, when the emotion takes over. That is probably study psychology of control and discipline and emotion. That's probably more important than most of the other stuff you'd have to learn, because that's usually the one that comes back and bites. It's like you do stupid things, you had a few drinks, you know what I mean? Like telling your ex you still dumped you. You're NZD, let's see if you can. No. No. Sorry, Teresa, that ship sailed. Of this guy gold, do that right now. To continue to strengthen that dollar, I actually 1590 take it out, but we shall see. Thank you, Lorenzo. That couldn't be a better, should we say, advertisement come from an honest client, not someone who's trying to sell you something, but somebody who's a purchaser to the other guys out there. And more to the point, it gives them a little bit more confidence and hope. And my harshness of saying getting this position size hopefully helps as well. Because you can, if you don't get that right, I don't care how knowledgeable you are, it's going to hurt. Like he did me on the USCHF. I was so confident, Lorenzo. Here's a double laugh for you. I actually went over a little bit bigger than I should have done. So I was very annoyed with myself on that because I was so convinced. And yeah, but not ridiculous. So put it that way. Okay, Osborne, good stuff. Good to have you with us. Keep in touch, as you well know, and what's happening with you going forward, as we discussed. Okay. So yeah, Teresa, yeah, there's your chance. Sometimes you got bloody moving. Sort of a short-term one, maybe an hour one. It's in a bit of a range there, so looks like hopefully that range seems to be holding. A few sellers are coming in, so all things being equal, should. But it is giving me some jip at the moment. I have to be honest. I don't know what's doing back up at 14. So therefore, just before we close up today, write down in capital letters: common sense, discipline, patience, and budgeting, as in, you know, correct volumes. Those are absolute 100% have to, not 95%, 100%. And Philip, I have to be honest with you, absolutely. I don't care what Gary Player says, luck, labor under control, knowledge. No, 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 no. Luck plays a big part, don't care who you are. I mean, you know, I'm not a big fan of football, but, you know, the World Cup final, the difference in winning the World Cup or not, because a millimeter or an inch or a centimeter to the right, the ball's in, centimeter to the left, and hits the post. And you say, why not put a little bit more to the center? We've got a goalie to protect. So that kick, brilliant kick from that master that cracks all their lives, can be just 1 centimeter out, and then you can't control that. And one's making the person a hero. He gets $100 million to transfer, or to a complete failure, etc. That is not skill. That's nature's luck. So there's no doubt about it. It does play a bit part of it, yeah. But we try to get a bit of skill thrown in as well. But I say, who needs skill if you're really lucky? And some guys are just bloody lucky. Thank you, Gerard. To play golf with a guy like that, Jesus, I'm lucky. He would say, I'm going to smack this down the fairway. If I said that, I guarantee I'd shank it. When he says it, that's where it goes. And he wasn't that great a golfer. He was just bloody lucky. Now, you get the Maestro, he's died, unfortunately. That's not so lucky. Many, many years ago, this guy, and he touched it, just turned to gold. He just couldn't do anything wrong. Some of the Cape Towning guys might have heard it. It was Michael Beachy. He used to own Thunder City, those jets, remember? He just died, didn't quite make 60, showing all, we used to call him Biggest Mickers. And from the Monty Python thing, so we were all putting lads together in those days. We're talking about 40 odd years ago. And he was one of those guys, if he touched it, he just turned the gold. You just couldn't go wrong. God, he used to annoy me. Okay, right. Should we just do a quick recap? EURNZD. We'll start at the top there. AUD, CAD, come off a little bit, not screaming along, which is coming off. EURNZD, now that's definitely coming off with 20 odd pips plus in profit, that's okay. What else? US dollar yen, shoot down there. It's about hovering around the 50 mark, not much happening there, but that should hopefully come right. Gold starting to try to come right. It's been popping around, starting to try to come right. So we'll see how that goes and have a revisit later on. We might have a look at the shares this afternoon, but I think some of you might have missed, but it's going to be, oh, now the shares won't be open, will they? Sorry. We will not be looking at the shares at 4 o'clock today because the American market's closed. The shares, we have what's called the spot price, there's no futures on them, so they don't go around the clock, they just open when the American market's open. They won't be open today, so just before I put my foot in it and say we'll look at US shares, no, we will not. We can look at it academic interest, but there'll be no movement. So anybody in US shares just have to bite the bullet till tomorrow, 3:30. Okay. Mintamila said, look, hi Roger, I want to ask you about the upcoming recession. That sounds like a Democrat speaking there, my friend. We're in a bloody recession. Well, we are already. The states are in a recession. I don't care what the bloody Dems say. What is the view and what a trader must do? And also Pope Francis has a post on the October deadline for Holy See offices and Vatican Link Institute deposit assets with the Vatican Bank. What you view on it? Well, I've got very strong opinions on that, and I'll be absolutely honest with you, I didn't know that. I will admit it, I'm honest with you guys, I try to be, I did not know that. So I can't form an opinion whatsoever. I should do. Because I saw that podcast, which is rather cruel on poor old Biden, when he went up to shake hands with the Pope just recently and said he's a great basketball fan and he really liked Michael Jordan. I thought it was Michael Jordan. Partly about half the size of Michael Jordan, but anyway, and then slightly different pigmentation, I might add. It just shows that poor leader of the worst world really losing it. But it's rather cruel, but there it is. But I'm afraid I didn't know that. So if you're joining me later on at 4 and you can give your opinion, we can learn from you because I did not know that. Okay, guys, well, I've run out of stuff. It's only 5 minutes to go. Don't extend it just for the sake of it. One guys are leaving already. Anything else just the last couple of minutes you want clarification on? And you're not sure about? You've all got the DXY and the notes and the heat maps, I take it. If not, I can take the last couple of minutes to copy and paste on the chat line for you. Anybody who haven't got them, wants it? You'll know how to get the position size calculator, get on the text support on the live chat. But have you got the DXY, everybody? You need to have it. It's very important. Sympathy, you are here. Well bloody done. Well bloody done. Not sure you're here or not. That was a brilliant one. I admit it, I was a wuss on that one, and I chickened out on it. The pound CAD, bloody brilliant. Well sodding down. I think you were backed up by someone. I'm not sure it was Zeph or who it was, but somebody backed you up, so I got it written down. Well bloody done. 51.80. What's it now? GBP CAD. Popped up a bit. You might have been stopped out. If I said modify the stop to 51.20, so you might have been stopped out. What a pleasure, 60 pip profit. Well sodding done. Excellent. So, a nice one. Thank you for having the courage of convictions. See how we go from there. Well done. Yeah. I'd be honest, I didn't go for it. I chickened out, and now I'm, of course, annoyed. But credit where credit's due. Seth went for it as well. Well done. Nice one. Okay, right. Well, I think that's cleared up. You've all got the DXY and the rest of the position. If not, and you're in 4 o'clock, remind me, I'll put it up. I don't know if Warren's still there. I didn't mention about stop losses, when to modify, how we find them. Hope that was clear to not just Warren, but everybody out there. And then we can just go forward later on today. Okay, guys. Cheers. Great stuff. See you later. Good training. And hey there, Philip, have a cigarette for me, and don't forget the word luck. Big part of it. That's why you see half my face, folks, should admit that.